So our next speaker is Leah Montgomery. You can see it up here. What doesn't Leah do? That would almost be easier to announce. She does so many things. She's a marketing manager for Sports Spectrum PAO, a contract photographer for USA Today Sports, a freelance business owner based here in Columbus. She's previously held roles at the University of Maryland and Liberty Athletics, where she honed her skills in photography, video production, and social media management. Leah's lifelong passion for sports is really what drives her, with expertise in marketing, digital advertising, and creative content creation. So she's going to jump into that and how I think it might relate to identity. I don't know. I'm feeling like maybe identity. Leah Montgomery, everybody.
Is that better? Can you hear me? Okay. Well, hello. My name is Leah Montgomery. As he just said, I was going to introduce myself when I prepped this, but since he already did a beautiful job that kind of goes into identity, I want to talk to you guys about identity today because I found myself so much of my identity being in what I do. So much so that even when it's ripped away from me, that I just don't know how to function. And so I want to kind of go into a little bit of my story. I started out doing photography in high school, as most people have to take like a photography class. Didn't think much of it, but really enjoyed it. Never thought this is going to be my future or anything like that. I also played a lot of sports in high school, but as you can see, I'm about 5'2", so that really wasn't going to go far for me. Basketball, soccer, field hockey, track and field. I went to a very small private Christian school, and so if you were any bit athletic, they ask you to be on the team. So I kind of got my fill of all of that, but again, never thought, hey, I'm going to do this as a career. I just already knew my physical limitations and kind of just enjoyed it in high school. Same with photography. I actually went into school pre-law and really was in my mind, that's what I was going to do. My parents told me I was really good at arguing, and so I thought, hey, why not be in a courtroom and be able to argue and state my case and do all of that. But I spent probably about a month shadowing a lawyer and really decided that was not my forte, and just kind of was like, what am I going to do? So my dad was a project manager for an IT company, and I was like, I could do that because it kind of fits in. It could go in a bunch of different spaces. You hear business, you see a job, and you see like blah, 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 or a business degree. So that was the safe choice for me to do. So I went into my second semester of freshman year just going, I'm going to do business, and that's that. But I really didn't think anything more about sports or photography until a girl on my hall asked me if I would want to volunteer for the school newspaper. I said, sure, why not? I had to have volunteer hours for our school, so why not? That sounds fun. And found myself being on the sidelines of the football games, of basketball, kind of back to where I was when I was in high school playing sports, but in a different avenue. I wasn't playing, but I was as close to it as you can get without actually playing the sport, and just really found myself enjoying that. We did other assignments like news stories and feature articles, but sports was really like the place where I found my sweet spot. Again, still really never thought like this is like a fun college thing. I'm not going to do this professionally. I didn't think about it much until after I graduated. I took a job with our marketing team I went to Liberty University, so I took a job as a photographer with our marketing team. And in that, we got to do all kinds of promo shoots and events, concerts, you name it. We probably covered it. Sports was still that sweet spot for me. It was being able to see the details, see the emotions, figure out like how you get in there to get the shot. It's just exciting, and it's different every single game, every single time. And I was like, okay, I think this is what I want to do. So I kind of took that and started going after sports specifically, and started trying to learn the video side, photography, graphic design, social media, just so I was like a nice package for whoever wanted me to work for them in the athletic world. But it became my identity. I show you these pictures up here of all the different awesome people I've gotten to interact with, the sidelines, the field, a lot of really cool, amazing experiences. And you don't wake up one day and say, this is who I am. It's a slow trickle of, hey, this is my identity, and very quickly became all consuming for me. All of this I say to you because, not to brag, but to show these are awesome experiences, but I very quickly forgot who I was and started choosing all of these opportunities over the people I love, over my relationship with the Lord, and was like, I'm just going to do whatever I can to get to the next level. Whether that means I'm gone for Thanksgiving and don't get to see my family, or I'm going to skip church again because there's a game and I'm not going to miss shooting that. And so much of my identity was wrapped up in that I just forgot what I was doing, and hurt a lot of people that I loved, and it felt like a good thing. Like in the moment, I was like, if you love and support me, you're going to be here for me and you're going to cheer me on. If you don't, that's on you. Looking back, there's just a lot of people who I didn't show up for. I wasn't there when they were going through hard things, and just really got all consumed into this world. And it got to the point where I felt like I needed to leave the world of sports because I was alone. Like, I might have had all the accomplishments, I might have gotten all the Instagram likes and followers, but who cared about me, and what did my relationship with the Lord look like? It was not non-existent, but pretty bare minimum. And it felt very isolating. And people hyped you up when you were doing the cool things, but if you weren't doing the cool things, you were just kind of by yourself and alone. So at that point, I removed myself from the world of sports during COVID time and was like, all right, I'm walking away. I'm not doing this anymore. I don't want to be alone. I want a family one day, and just kind of was like, I'm going to go something else. Well, that job fell through, and I found myself working at a coffee shop. I had my master's degree. I had tons of experiences, and was just kind of like, Lord, what are you doing? This isn't necessarily a bad thing, but this is not where I thought you would have me. And I feel like lost. I feel alone. I feel sad. It's COVID. I'm sure a lot of people have mentioned that today. Just like that time was very pivotal for a lot of people. And that was probably the lowest that I had been in a long time, just figuring out, Lord, what do you have for me? Because all of my identity was, I am working in sports. I am a woman in sports. I'm a camera girl, but I'm not doing any of that anymore. And I really had to cling to him and ask, okay, Lord, if I am not just what I do, what am I? That's where I want to kind of go into definition of identity. The fact of being who or what a person or thing is. When you think about identity, who are you? If I ask you each, who are you? What would you say? Would it be instantly what you do? Would it be the role you have as a husband, wife, son, daughter, mom, dad? Is it what's on your Instagram bio? I know we can joke, like what you put in your Instagram bio is kind of like who you are. But go with it, okay. This is the hype for the sports side, so this is my hype video. Yeah, so who are you? Like, if you think of that, initially my first reaction, even if we get up here today, is I'm going to tell you what I do. And it's not really like who I am personally, and that's okay to like introduce yourself. That's part of your identity, but it shouldn't be the whole thing. And I've continued to struggle with that, where I feel myself reverting back to the cool things I get to do is who I am. And I just feel like the Lord has placed it on my heart to remind myself and those around me that's not all you are. If you fail at something, if you don't get the shot, if your project doesn't succeed, that does not equal you failing. That is just something and part of life, and you get up and you keep moving, but it's not who you are. I want to specifically look at Ephesians 2:10. We are God's workmanship, created for good works. When you think about who are you are God's workmanship. And I want you to remember these things and maybe write them down if it hits home for you. But when you ask the question, who are you, is your initial reaction what you do and what you create, or is it who God created you to be? Also, in 2 Corinthians 5:17, we are a new creation in Christ. Who are you? You are a new creation. John 1:12 through 15, who are you? We are children of God. I am a child of God. You're not defined by like the accomplishments, because even if for my personal story, I share that because when everything was stripped away and I thought I had all the things and I walked away and did what I thought God wanted me to do, and then I end up at a place where I'm concerned about benefits and pay and feel alone, and I moved to Columbus, Ohio in the middle of December 2020 and got COVID when I got here, and just all the things, going, God, what the heck are you doing? Because I feel so alone, but that is where I cling to him the most. And I go back to that time and just want to reiterate that being a creative and a child of God can equally exist in the same space. But being a creative can be an act of worship. It doesn't necessarily have to be everything you are, everything you create. It's not your entire identity. And it's very easy for us to go in and say, this is my work. And a lot of things in the creative space are very subjective. So like not everything you do might be a hit, a home run. It might be you love it, but then you get concerned, like, do I need to change? Do I need to do something different? I want people to like me. I want to get the likes. I want to, all of those things. Ultimately, remember back, who am I? I am a child of God first and foremost, and what I create can be worship, and making sure that we do that. So I say all of this, just full circle. I ended up working at a coffee shop for a couple months and just really like, okay, Lord, I'm just going to be humble and wait for your timing, and I think I'm done with sports. I think I'm done with that world. And the Lord brought it full circle, and I now work for a company that works with professional Christian athletes, which is really fun and exciting. So not necessarily in that grinding world of, hey, I'm with a team every weekend, I have to miss all this stuff, but I work in a space where we get to tell stories of professional athletes that the media is not covering. We also get to work in a space where if you think about a professional athlete, they don't really get to go to church like normal people. And if they did show up, they would get bombarded. And so finding places and spaces for them to be able to come together in community. We have conferences and we get to sit down and tell their story, and I get to use my experiences, the talents that God has given me for that. If you would have told me that in December 2020, I would have called you crazy because I was like, I'm done with that world, I'm not going back. But God's faithfulness is there, and it doesn't mean he may say you're done with that. And you just have to trust in him and release it, because you are not fully what you are is not fully what you create. And that is okay if you say like, yeah, I am a photographer, I'm a videographer, I'm an artist, I'm whatever. That's a part of you, and that's beautiful, and you get to worship God through that, but it's not your whole identity. So my hope leaving here is that you hear that you are a child of God, and what you create can be an act of worship, but it isn't. Your successes and failures don't have to define you. So that's my story, and I just hope that you guys take your identity and know, hey, God can use this even in my lowest place. So.
All right.
Great job. Thank you so much.
Good job, Leah. Give her a hand one more time. Just a reminder, as Tyler said, if you scan this, you can ask questions. That'll submit it right to us, so we have those. Got a second here. Hey, what's up, Leah? Good job. So question, what's your favorite athlete that you've met?
So I don't know if I said this. I meant to say it. My favorite sport is basketball, so probably Steph Curry and his wife. They were probably the most genuine people. You see a lot of people on stages, and you're like, how are they in person? And they probably were the most like down to earth. You wouldn't even know that they were famous.
Hey, I was really hoping you were going to say that. So, all right. Have you seen your identity shift give others permission to also make that shift in their own lives?
Can you say that again?
Yeah, the identity shift that you made. Have you seen that provide permission to others in your life, in your field, to have kind of a freedom to shift their identity?
Yeah, I feel like I've been able to have a lot of conversations with I hate to say the next generation because that makes me feel like I'm getting older, but just other people that I get to work with and pouring into the next generation who are want that next step and want to get the big gigs, and they're like, how do I get there? What do I do? And being able to speak into that and just share my story to be able to remind them it's probably not going to look like how you think it's going to look, but God will use it.
What is your, how do you balance being a creative but not getting too deep into that?
That's a great question. It's hard because when you get excited about what you are doing and you get all of the goals and aspirations and people are excited for what you do, it's very easy, and I'm guilty of it still, of just, hey, this feels good. Like the accolades and things and the experiences get exciting, but having community around you that pull you back to reality and remind you, hey, let go, God's got it, is so important. I don't think if I would have a different group of friends than I do that check me, it'd be a different story. But making sure that I'm being honest with the people around me. I don't know how many people here are in a life group at their church, but honestly, like being able to be real with those people and be in life and doing life with them and sharing that, and they check me of like, okay, are you trusting God still? Because you're about to speak about that, so are you doing it?
It's funny when you said your parents said you should be a lawyer because you argue a lot. That is exactly my wife and I. It's the first thing we connected on. Both of our parents said we should become lawyers because we like arguing, so we just got married instead. Which yeah, anyone else have any questions? I don't know if I'm not getting them or I don't have any more here. So we can just get some time back. All right, well, we have one more keynote. Thank you so much, Leah. Let's give her another hand.